Florida Republican Congressman and House Judiciary Committee member. Matt Gaetz is back. Welcome back, Congressman.
Oh, thanks for having me, Kennedy.
So let's talk about this a little bit. Are you confident in the redactions that the Attorney General is making in the Mueller report?
I am. The Attorney General is moving at lightning speed. He's delivered principal conclusions. I think everyone in Congress is saying, Red Rover, send the Mueller report right over. We're ready to digest it, but I don't think there's going to be any new information as it relates to the ultimate findings. Democrats now
Is that what Democrats are hoping for?
It is. Like, they were wrong about the conclusions, and so this would be like saying, well, we lost the baseball game, but we really want to see the box score because we might have won the top of the third inning. And I think that's really, they're hoping to tweeze through some salacious detail or something embarrassing to the president, but I don't think that the country is going to flip on, some like law review article type answer to obstruction of justice. The real question was whether or not there were people colluding with the Russian Federation, and here there obviously weren't.
No, it appears they were not. And I also think that special counsel should have made the determination on obstruction of justice. And I think he did that as a favor to some of his Democrat friends. I realize that Bob Mueller is a Republican. Should the House of Representatives get an unredacted version of the Mueller report, including some of the information on sources and methods used to do the investigative work, and also some of the grand jury testimony?
It would be easier to make the case for Congress to get all that information if Congress wasn't so bad at handling it. I mean, how can we make the argument that people like Adam Schiff need to see the most sensitive intelligence around this investigation when they've spent 2 years mischaracterizing everything that they've seen? Well, but he shouldn't. I mean, that's the problem. Beyond just the Mueller probe in Russia, he's one of the Gang of Eight, so he sees the most sensitive intelligence, and the rest of us have to rely on his characterization of that intelligence to make decisions. How am I, as a member of Congress, supposed to rely on what Adam Schiff says when he was out there saying there was actual evidence of collusion for 2 years, which existed only in his own brain? So he's got bigger problems outside of this. But obviously Congress can handle sensitive and classified information. I'm sure Congress will see that. But frankly, I'd like to get as much of it to the public and Congress at the same time, because the last thing we need are members of Congress characterizing their hot takes.
When Adam Schiff, that's such a good way of describing it, because when Adam Schiff and Devin Nunes were going back and forth with their dueling memos, it was so incredibly annoying. And like you, there were so many of us sitting here going, just give us the primary source. Give us the information so we can make a decision for ourselves and a determination whether or not the federal government and certain law enforcement and intelligence agencies overstep their bounds. It clearly looks as though they've done that.
You would agree, though, that if there are grand jury transcripts or there are active proceedings, you can't just decide that because we're all interested right now, you wouldn't put that off, because it's not just about this work.
I understand that, but also
the work in the future has to rely on that confidentiality.
Yes, but you also want to make sure that a Democrat president in the future is also protected and held to very high standards. Let's talk a little bit about your Green Real Deal. We only talk about the Green New Deal, but I love some of the phrases that you have in this piece of legislation that's all about ingenuity and innovation. And you even say you want to unlock the unlimited potential of American innovation and ingenuity. You call it a love letter to American progress, which I think is fantastic.
That's right. If I have to bet on someone to solve climate change, I'm not betting on a government bureaucrat inside the Beltway of Washington. I'm betting on some smart kid coming up with a new way to make clean energy, probably against a zoning code in their parents' basement. So we need to create more platforms for American innovation. We can do that with, actually not with more government, but with less government, more inclusive technological policies.
The choir of angels is singing behind you, Matt Gaetz. I mean, you tweet some weird stuff every once in a while, but I'll give you a pass on that.
You tweeted some weird stuff in like the early 90s. Or no, you weren't tweeting. You were just saying it on TV.
Come on, man. What are you, Kamala Harris? Were you and Tupac hanging out with me in high school when Appetite for Destruction came out?
No, I was watching you in high school. I was watching you on MTV.
That's absolutely right. That was a great time. Okay, I have an invention, and you can use this in your Green Real Deal, because this is really smart. And I don't do a lot of smart things. So you know how AOC is making a big deal about cow farts and how they're destroying the world, and we have to get rid of cows and cow farts?
Yes.
Because there's so much power and gaseousness. We need a fart bag that captures that wind and somehow compresses and processes it so we can use that for energy at a later date.
I'm going to let you patent the fart bag to capture all of that. I'll simply say that we've gotten rid of enough bison and added cows. I think we're pretty bovine neutral in North America.
Hashtag bovine neutral. Congressman Matt Gaetz, thank you very much for your time, as always.
Thank you, Kennedy.
Very good.